Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you doing?
Well, doing okay. Kind of so-so. Nothing too bad with me or anything here in Charlotte. Uh, I was going to talk about a couple of things though. First, I want to ask how is it going with you and the whole deal of the virus and all that?
Well, we're doing fine. We're holding quarantine in our room,
No,
but so they drop off meals and stuff we need, and so we're fairly isolated.
that's good. Anybody become sick or
I haven't heard of anybody in this facility who has gotten sick.
okay?
So, but we were locked up pretty quickly. Yeah, since March 12th.
Okay. Uh, I wanted to first give you an update on what an incident that happened in Russia. Um,
Okay.
so you know how Dieta has sisters?
Sisters, yeah.
Yeah, he has two. Um, he has one named Valentina, and second one named let me see. The first one's named Valentina, and then the second one. Well, the second one had husband that was known for like doing outdoor projects, working on the roof and all that.
Yeah.
And I met him once in 2018. Unfortunately, I didn't take any photographs, or my phone was dead, and just a bunch of different bad things happened at that point back in 2018. Um, and I don't know. I'm just kind of mad that a lot of things happen, but I can't really do anything now, unfortunately. It's just I remember sitting there at the house talking to him about gardening. He was showing me a lot about the gardening. He liked the gardening and all that, and he was a guy who I wanted to talk with again. And then when I went to Russia in 2019, nothing happened. I was trying to like aggressively even go and see Dietta's sisters because I know Valentina but I don't really know the second sister that well.
Yeah.
And I never got managed to take any photos or anything. And unfortunately, I only took like one photograph during the whole time in the summer, and just a lot of nonsense around that whole thing happened. But so what happened, unfortunately, recently was back in I think November or October. I don't even remember what month it was. Um, he was doing something with the roof. I think he was either fixing the roof or trying to install something. I don't know, but he fell from a ladder and he hit his head pretty bad. Um, well, what happened was they immediately took him. I don't know what exactly happened. I don't know if he laid there on the ground for a long time or what exactly happened, but they took him to the hospital and he was put into a medically induced coma for whatever reason. I don't know why, but he was in that coma and he never woke up from the coma, and it was like 5 months, 6 months. I mean, since October or November. So, and
So did he
then,
die?
well, he did. Um, and the reasoning may be due to coronavirus, but it's unclear. They put him in a hospital, and once the coronavirus situation started picking up, so recently, they basically barred anyone from even going to the hospital to visit him. And he was in a condition where he had to be in constant care. And in Russia, medical care or public medical care is not up to the standard that it is here in the US. So, yeah, and my thinking is that he either died due to just nobody supervising him, or he may have died possibly due to something going on in the hospital. It could have been coronavirus, could have been something else. It's unknown. But
Yeah.
what happened was he was left at a hospital. No one was allowed to visit him. And then the hospital just calls, says, hey, he died.
Yeah. Well, that's bad.
Yeah, it's just I'm, frustrated about it. But I mean, I don't even think you could have done anything in that situation.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have enough money to have things done, apparently. So,
Well, my concern is, I mean, there's a kind of a 2, 3 part thing here. I mean, question is like, because what my understanding is they paid money to have all kinds of tests done, and they've done like experimental tests and all that, and nothing was helping him getting out of the coma. They found some like professor of neurology somewhere, paid that guy money to go and try to do something. They started doing some sort of like electro stimulating therapy of some sort. Nothing was going well, and basically a lot of medical people were saying, "Hey, he's probably going to stay in that state." But
yeah.
so that's the first problem. I don't know if they could have done anything at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have a big issue of money. I mean, they're like, okay, they're considered to be actual, like, it's hard to say middle class, but it's like they're on the higher end of middle class there. Um, so in other words, they have way more money than the average Russian, but
Mm-hmm.
they're considered to be middle class when comparing it to U.S. standards.
Yeah. So how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I mean, I just heard about the death today, and I don't know. I just wanted to call you to see if the coronavirus thing has gotten worse or whatever.
Yeah,
Because
but I think it's still getting ramped up, and more people
yeah,
are going to be exposed to it. As far as I've heard,
yeah,
we're pretty safe here because we don't have contact with people.
yeah. I mean, I think you're in a good setting. My concern is what's like. I don't. How many people are sick in your city? Do you know?
In this area,
Yes, because you don't live in Atlanta. You live in like was it Lawrenceville, which I don't know how far away that is from Atlanta.
was the edge of Atlanta. Uh, uh, not, it's growing, but see, we have no contact with anyone.
Yeah, because what's weird is the situation in Charlotte has been very mysterious. First, what happened was we didn't have any cases or anything in North Carolina at all, and then cases started popping up around Raleigh, and I figured, oh well, it's going to eventually start getting to Charlotte at some point. So
Yeah.
it started getting to Charlotte, and it started like rising. It'd be like 1 or 2 people, and then it would up like
It started
maybe
doubling.
yeah, it started growing exponentially. And what is unfortunate is no one's saying, what it's from, if it's from community spread or what the case is exactly. Nobody says anything. And so Charlotte decided to put in a stay-at-home order until about mid-April, and then our governor decided to put a whole statewide stay-at-home order until about the end of April.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to do that.
Right.
Because it's spread by exposure.
Right. And what I don't understand is, I mean, I understand parts of it, and I don't understand some of the stay-at-home order. So I understand the idea that it's supposed to be for essential like needs, for example, grocery store, medical offices, and hospitals, and all that.
Uh-huh.
But apparently, it's gotten to the point where I understand restaurants closing down the the dine-in section of the thing and then ordering to take out. Like I get that, and I find that to be
Uh-huh.
fine. Full-on restaurants are closing, filing bankruptcy, and just everything because they can't offer any sort of takeout service.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of a little bit lost on that, but
hopefully there'll be some government will help them get back on their feet.
I
but
don't know how
you
that's
know,
going to go.
because here the only way you get food is you place an order and then they give it to you at the door.
Right. Yeah, so that's one area that I'm kind of lost in. But that's not a big concern. My concern is when stores that don't classify as grocery stores, or in my mind, don't seem to be essential, when
Uh-huh.
they are still working. Like I understand maybe like electricians and plumbers and just people who are out there for like I guess emergencies for like
Uh-huh.
related to living.
Yeah.
Um, but my concern is when you start getting into stores like I guess you're like Walmarts and Targets when or that are I mean they are known for selling food, but they sell like a lot of other stuff. So I
Yeah.
mean the whole stores are open, and then it gets to like I mean Home Depot and Lowe's is open and working. They don't sell any food, but I don't know why they're still in operation.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess it varies from state to state a little bit, but
yeah, I don't
yeah.
know how they define all that, and it's gotten to the point where I read the news and that freaking I'm trying to think what the GameStop that sells computer games and video games,
Mm-hmm.
they're apparently still open.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's
Yeah, Best Buy is still open, and electronic stores are still open. And I don't understand what the deal is. I mean, I can't even. So the reason I'm kind of complaining in that regards is because I'm trying to switch from working at one of those stores to working something else because they have me working outside loading heavy bags of soil, like by 50
uh-huh.
pounds, 70 pounds, and I can't really do it in this hot weather. And I'm every day at work, I'm getting sunburned, and they don't give anybody sunscreen.
Yep.
It took me forever to get them to start giving us water bottles.
Wear a hat.
Well, I do have a hat, but still, I mean, it doesn't help.
Yeah.
And I've ruined a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just something that I never signed up for.
I know. I
And
know. But you had to have something, an alternative, before you walk away from that.
yeah, and see, that's the thing. I'm trying to get a different job, so I have that alternative.
Uh-huh. Well, so, social networking. See, have other people that know of
Oh,
a job.
speaking of which, I wanted to tell you about a scam that almost fell for.
What was
So I
that?
was applying online, and they had this fake company, which was based on I guess, a real company, maybe a real
Uh-huh.
company that was based in California. But I think I'm supposing the whole thing is fake because the website seemed a little weird. But they apparently had enough evidence to be sort of legitimate. Um, so everything was fine. I mean, it had a regular hiring process and everything. I did not give them any like big information like social security or anything like that. But
Uh-huh.
the only thing I gave them was like a name and a phone number. And then
Yeah.
what they were trying to do was it basically was like a work at home, and they kept demanding like that they were going to send a check through the mail. And I was trying to get them to do direct deposit, but they, for whatever reason, did not want to do direct deposit. And I said, fine, I can wait in the mail. And when I look at the post office, it keeps just saying that they didn't ship anything in the mail. And then they were like, "Oh, we need you to do mobile banking." And it just the more I was talking to them, the more suspicious it got to the point where they had scanned in some sort of fake check, sent an email with this fake check, and they told me to print it out, cut it out, and glue it together to make it look like a check. And I mean, at that point, that sounded weird. And then I saw it was a different company on the check, not that company. Start asking about it, and then they were like, "Oh, you don't seem to understand. We are going to revoke your employment because I was asking for them to go ahead and just ship me the actual check." And they, for some reason, bought a priority mail package for a check, which to me didn't make any sense. And they were just being weird. And then when the one lady I talked to sounded like she was from not from the States. And my suspicions was this was some sort of like Indian scam or something.
Yeah.
And they didn't try to work with me at all. And then they were basically being, not cooperative at all. So,
It's good you didn't follow through with them.
yeah. So my suspicions is that they probably weren't even a real company, and they were all based in overseas somewhere. So even if I wanted to take legal action, probably would have given no results.
There's no way to access them.
Yeah. So that was one scam that I ran into. Another thing I had to deal with was with let's see, I've been like talking with a bunch of different companies over the phone, and none of them have been proactive. Like I tell them everything, they're like, you start giving interview questions, and then ask what your availability is, and I tell them I'm available, and then they never call back. And then when I try calling them back, they don't answer, or they're busy, or so is not there. And I don't know. I've been doing that probably for the whole month of March.
Hard times.
Yeah, and now that they've pretty much closed down a lot of the stores and only certain stores are open, like I was trying to land a job with a locksmith company, but they're closed because of the stay-at-home order. So can't do anything with that. And then the grocery store is saying immediate hiring. They close stores everywhere, and every single store that's been doing that, they're like, "Oh, we're not hiring." So they're kind of doing this like false advertisement around Charlotte for some reason.
Try calling your Uncle Bill. Maybe he might have a job. I have no idea.
Maybe. But I don't know, it's just a lot of craziness has been going on. I mean, other than that, uh, got my first YouTube check. Well, apparently, I haven't even checked the bank to see if that was really deposited because the banks are
Oh, I know. It's going to be around a few months, I think.
possibly. I mean, the only thing good that I can think of off the top of my head, that for example, is a big plus is with the schools. They decided to remove proctoring for some reason. I don't know why, but they've decided to completely remove any sort of proctoring because they had proctoring that's mandatory for all classes, and then they completely removed it and actually have what's it called? Like it's now forbidden for teachers to require that now for some reason, which I find very weird. But a plus for students, I guess.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't like the cooperative system because they were having to pay $20 to $30 a test for some guy in this yell at you for any little unusual movements. Like if you're looking at a question for too long, or just something like that.
Yeah, well, at least you're in school.
Yeah. But
These are tough times. So at least you're moving forward in school.
yeah, I think I am. I don't even know. The problem is I can't even find a good looking job that's within my area.
Well, it'll be kind of crazy around here, I think, for a year or more.
What do you mean crazy?
With all the rodent virus and the reactions to it, it's, I don't know. There's been a lot of shrinkage, not as many jobs. So if you can stay in school, that's probably a good thing to do.
Well, I plan to stay in school. It's just I need to get a job that's like what I'm doing now.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm just saying that I don't. It's going to be tough starting new jobs around now.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people scamming, so.
Oh yeah. They're like, oh, we're gonna. So they basically have some sort of fake job posting somewhere, typically on Craigslist. That's where I found that one. And make the hiring process as legitimate as possible. And then they're like, oh, we're gonna send you like a fake check or whatever in the mail, and I don't understand that. Like I don't get the idea of how they're going to scam with that, other than I understand the banks, bouncing any checks.
Well, no, just don't give them that stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, how's the rest of your life going besides school and work?
Well, let's see. Trying to get eBay and YouTube to be all right. But what's interesting is that February was a bad month for eBay. March has actually gotten better and picked up. I would say it's about normal. Like February, I made less than 100. March, I'm somewhere at like maybe 200, maybe 250.
Yeah. Well,
YouTube had a good month in February, but now this month in March, it's not doing well.
Well,
and I want to say it's probably due to just lack of people donating to the channel, which I think is fine. But other than that, I mean, advertising revenue is about the same, I would say. So I guess what I need to do is either create some sort of content of which would encourage people to donate, or figure out content that people are going to watch more, so I generate the ad revenue.
Yeah. Well, check with your Uncle Bill. Maybe he's got some kind of work you can do.
Yeah, I mean, I tried calling him, and either nothing happens, or phones usually direct me to messages, or doesn't even direct me sometimes.
Well, keep trying. It can't hurt.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to see what you have been up to.
Yeah, I'm staying in my room.
All right.
It's bad times, and I'm living around a bunch of retired people. So just a couple of weeks ago, they kept everybody. They stopped letting people go off premises and stuff because it's just not safe. here are retired mostly, and they don't have the ability to fight that virus. You young guys, you could get it, and mostly you guys don't get hurt by it. But the older people,
Yeah.
it's tougher. So,
Yeah, like Baba hasn't left the house for a while. Really never leaves the house. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, another big problem. I said another big problem that's happened is because of the virus. I mean, they basically uh, have stopped all international travel in and out of the U.S. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, same. What's that Acura? I don't know if you've seen the Acura. I mean, I'll go to school pretty much sort of full time. My problem is just actual classes and everything later on. But yeah. All right. Well, just wanted to see what you've been doing. I need to call Nina. She's been stuck in Virginia for a while, and I don't know how long she's supposed to be on some sort of mandatory quarantine.
yeah, I don't. Well, tell her to settle up.
Yeah, because she was supposed to be on a quarantine from France, and now she doesn't want to go to Charlotte because of the stay-at-home order. So I don't know what she's going to be doing.
Well, I don't know. But tell her to settle up.
All right, we'll do. I'll talk to you later.